The other day, I gave this master class to a real estate office here locally, so I decided to record a video about it. This is a master class on AI search for real estate agents. Basically, what you're going to learn how to do is how to get AI tools like Chat GPT and Gemini to recommend you or reference you. So the first question that I will ask you is, does Chat GPT or does AI even like you? Can it even find you? Easiest way to find that out is to run the prompt. I have here a prompt that you should run on your computer as you're following along, which is, should I hire, insert your name to sell my home? We're putting on the hat of a prospective home seller who is looking and researching specifically you to list and sell their home. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go ahead and paste that. And I'm just going to change the name to somebody I know who sells real estate here locally. And we will fire that off. And what we're going to see is that ChatGPT generates a response. Now, I'm going to, at the same time, go over to Google and I'm going to put in what someone who's looking for that specific real estate agent is going to do. They might put in their name. They might put something like realtor or something like that along with it so that they could find that individual. Now, if we were to compare these two different results, we see that Google gives the user a list of links for them to click on, to go to those destination landing pages, to read through them, and to create their own interpretation of whether they should hire that individual or not. And it's going to create an impression based on that interpretation of viewing the websites that Google found. Contrast that to what ChatGPT is going to generate or the result that it produces. So ChatGPT goes out, it finds those same or similar links that Google came up with, but instead of just passing those links along, it scans through, it reads through, it synthesizes them, and it creates its own interpretation and produces a response for that user to assess. So there's a really big difference there, right? In one situation, the user or the person doing the search creates the interpretation versus in the other situation, the AI tool like ChatGPT is creating the interpretation for them and passing that along. When it comes to showing up in both Google search and AI search, it's important to understand that different keywords and prompts are easier or harder to show up or rank for. Let's take a look at a really specific example of keywords like homes for sale versus your name. So showing up for broad search terms or prompts like homes for sale in Austin or real estate agents in Austin is very expensive. Why is it expensive? Because there's a lot of competition from firms and organizations with a lot of marketing dollars. It's really hard to compete against them. Now, while it's difficult and expensive to show up for search terms or prompts like homes for sale in Austin or real estate agents in Austin, we can control how AI recommends us without making a big investment on prompts based on either your name or specific circumstances and specialization. Here are a couple of examples. So when someone is searching your name, this is a bottom of funnel type search or a bottom of funnel type of prompt, meaning that they're already about to make a decision and they're just affirming that you are the individual that they're wanting to work with, or they might be comparing you against your competition. So it's important that we show up positively and powerfully when someone prompts AI with our name or even goes to Google for our name. So we can influence without making tremendous investment on prompts like, what can you tell me about, insert your name. I'm looking for real estate agents in the Circle C Austin area. And we can also look at prompts like, I'm relocating from San Francisco to the Circle C neighborhood in Southwest Austin and need recommendations to real estate agents in that area. We can, because of that long tail search or that more very specific prompt, control how we show up. The strategies and tactics on how we influence AI on how we show up and how it recommends us is called AEO or GEO. AEO stands for Answer Engine Optimization and GEO stands for Generative Engine Optimization. In both cases, they are just terms that are being used to describe AI search or how we get recommended or how we're referenced in tools like ChatGPT. This is a brand new field. It's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, but there are strategies and there are tactics, and that's what this masterclass is designed to do to improve your chances of showing up powerfully, positively, and getting recommended by tools like ChatGPT. The first step in understanding how you're going to show up in AI search, like tools like ChatGPT, is to go to ChatGPT and ask it about hiring you to sell a home or hiring you to help somebody buy a home. The second step is to run an AI search audit. And I have a prompt here that I'm going to share with you that you can use. Now, you'll have to use a tool more powerful than ChatGPT, and I'll explain why in just a second. But let me share the prompt with you. It's very simple. I'm a real estate agent. My name is, and that's where you would insert your name. I sell real estate in, insert your location or locations. Research me and make recommendations based on what you find to improve my ability to show up when people use AI tools like ChatGPT to discuss real estate solutions. Now, like I said, in my experience, ChatGPT in general isn't sufficient for this task. I highly recommend that you use tools like Manus.im or GenSpark AI. Both of these tools are stronger than ChatGPT. When you use these tools, these more advanced tools, it won't just process your prompt. What it's going to do is it's going to take that prompt, it's going to break that task into smaller tasks or subroutines or subprompts, and then bring that all together to produce a better quality result. So I'm going to take this prompt and I'm going to go into Manus. I'm going to drop it in here and I'll make just a couple of customizations. We use the same individual that we used before. And I'm going to copy this. We'll fire that off. And then I'm also going to go to GenSpark AI and do the exact same thing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let this process. You can already see the tool is doing many steps, and you can read through what the steps that it's taking to generate the result. So Manus is doing all of these steps, and then GenSpark is also doing a lot of stuff. Looks like it gathered a bunch of images, and we'll check back when these tools have finished with their reports. While those prompts are running, let's look at how AI actually decides who it's going to recommend. This data comes from a report called the AI Citations, User Locations, and Query Context. What they did is they looked at thousands and thousands of prompts and the prompt responses to gain an understanding of how do tools like ChatGPT, how do they recommend? What are they basing that information off of? And what's really encouraging is that we have enormous control. So 44% of the weighted information came from our own websites. Another 42% of the information came from business listings that we can control, things like Google business profiles, Facebook pages, LinkedIn profiles, things like that. 8% came from reviews and social media content, and then 2% came from forums like Reddit. The great thing is we have control over our website and what our websites say about us, and we also can create and control what business listings like Google business profiles or LinkedIn profiles or Facebook business pages say about us. Okay, let's take a look at the report that Manus put together for us. I've prepared a comprehensive report. Let's just dive right down to the report and see what it put together. It's put together a PDF report here, the AI Visibility and Search Engine Optimization Report. There's an executive summary. It's got a current digital footprint analysis, which shows the platform, the status, and the AI impact for each one of those footprints. There are some strategic recommendations for AI visibility, so things that we can act on and things that we can do. There are specific actions and technical tips, which is very actionable and makes it super useful. And there's even an implementation roadmap. Pretty useful. All right, let's take a look at what the GenSpark AI tool put together. The GenSpark report has also put together a really good analysis of how we're currently showing up, and it's talking about the different resources or the different footprints that it found online, like our brokerage site, like our website. It talks about even specific pages on our site that it found. And then it has here media references, it found some videos. Let's see where the recommendations are. Here we go. So there are recommendations to increase the odds of AI tools surfacing you, and then it lists what those are. And there are some very actionable tips that we can take. Now, I've been running AI searches and working to improve them for our firm, as well as for our clients and members. And here's what I have found that's pretty consistent. AI search tends to look at things like the bios that we have online. This is our online presence, but having an effective bio, whether that's on our brokerage site, whether it's on our own websites, even across all of the social media platforms and business directories that are out there, is having a consistent, high quality bio, that's really important. It also looks at reviews, so making sure that we have reviews not just out there on third-party sites like the home search sites, but even on our own website. Remember that 44% of the weight for AI search came from our own websites. Another recommendation that I make based on what I have found is having accurate transaction history on your website. Now, we are oftentimes limited by the amount of information that we can share on a specific property or specific listing, but you can still list out the different transactions and have as much of that information as possible on your website. And I recommend that you place that on a table in your website because AI will reference that table as data. It'll look at that data and consider it of higher quality or of higher value. And then we want to have answers to questions. So the actions that you can take are make sure you have an effective bio on your site, your brokerage site, and pretty much everywhere else. So be sure to update your social media profiles, Facebook, and especially LinkedIn, just because I know a lot of real estate professionals haven't updated or have really good LinkedIn profiles. But remember this, whenever a client hires us, it's just like getting hired at a job. And clients do go to LinkedIn. And what I have found in my own research is that LinkedIn will typically show up in the first 5 search results of any Google search. And it's also being used by tools like ChatGPT and AI search as a directory of people. Get more reviews on your websites and the home search sites. Balance that out. You want to have all of them on your website for sure, but have as many of them as you can scattered across the main players for the home search sites. And then you want to have answer FAQs on your website because AI likes to have the information structured in such a way where there's a question and an answer, a problem and a solution. So we covered 3 main steps that you can take in this masterclass on AI search. The first was to go to a tool like ChatGPT and run the prompt, should I hire, insert your name, and see what it says. The second was to conduct an AI audit using advanced tools like Manus.im or GenSpark AI. In both cases, they have free versions of the tool that you can use. And then the third step is to begin taking action on the recommendations that come from that audit that you do. But remember, in most cases, you can do things like update your bio, make sure that's consistent across the web and having a good quality digital footprint. Make sure you have reviews on your website and have them going out to other sites as well. And if you don't have them out there, but you do have the prior experience, just reach out to your clients, past clients, and ask them to review you. You can even send them one specific link on where you want them to go to do that review. And then, like I mentioned earlier, doing transaction history, answers to questions. These are things that you can do to improve your chances of surfacing and showing up more powerfully in ChatGPT, Gemini, and other search tools. If you enjoyed this masterclass, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel where we continue to share strategies, tips, and techniques to make AI and real estate technology useful, practical, and profitable.